day, good morning to all of you. Now, to formally get started, quick introduction about myself in case you do not know who I am. My name is Nicholas. I am from the Zoho APAC team. I work as an evangelist slash marketer, and it's an incredibly exciting day today because we're going to talk about something new, Zoho Tables. And we do have a ton of special guests with us, a ton of guest speaker with us today from the product team itself. So you can actually get to hear a lot from the product experts. So very quick plug-in about Zoho. You probably are familiar with the broad spectrum of apps that we have. We run from CRM to marketing automation to ticketing, even tools for your developer and HR folk as well. But today we want to talk about something new. We want to talk about Zoho Tables here. And correct me if I'm wrong, Arjun, this really came out in almost the month of March for this year. It's always advertised and also advertised as a work management tool, right? You can do it for projects. If you're a content marketer like myself, probably creating a content calendar works perfectly well as well. But no assumptions here. I'm going to just toss the time over back to Arjun to actually listen to some pro tips that he has. So Arjun, whenever you're ready, please take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the intro, Nicholas. And also thank you for putting this together. And good morning, everyone who have joined. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining this session. My name is Arjun, and this is my 8th year in Zoho. That's a long time. And while I am in Zoho, or during this course in my career, I've worked with a lot of products inside of Zoho. But this one is particularly exciting. I've been with this team for a while now, and we launched, like Nicholas mentioned, this is a very new product. We launched this product only in March. So and this is the first webinar we are doing for the APAC audience. So we are super excited to do this, and I hope you find this tool useful, and we are confident that this can transform your work management story. So this will be the flow for today's demo. We'll first start with what is the problem that we are trying to solve with our Zoho Tables tool. And there are different ways to solve the problem of work management. I'll also define what is work management, what do we mean by that term. And then we will go on to say how we approach this problem and solve this. And then we will give a very brief intro of Zoho Tables. I will give a very brief intro of Zoho Tables. And after I talk about the highlights, the feature highlights, and how we approach work management, I will hand over the session to Akhila, who is our product expert. So she will actually walk you through the product. Whatever I say in theory, she will actually be able to show it to you in practice, how exactly the tool looks, how you can do all of those things in the tool. And then we'll show a little bit of what our customers have to say about the product. We'll also talk about the commercials. And throughout the session, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the questions tab. Please use the questions tab, indulge in the questions tab generously. Akhila is here. I am here. At the end of the session, we will take the questions that are left over. But Shruti is also here. Shruti is also a marketer in Zoho Tables, and she is available in the background. She will help us moderate this session. Whenever you post a question, she will try to answer before it gets to the end of the session, where we can actually be around and answer those questions. So I'm excited to start this. If you want to grab a cup of coffee, or if you want to grab a cup of water, make yourself comfortable. Please sit back and relax. We will take it slow. We will stop in between. Whenever you have a question, post it there, right? So what exactly is the work management problem, right? All of you who is in the audience today is a professional, right? How do you define a work management problem? Think about that for a minute. And while you think about it, we will run a poll. And this is just to check if you have heard about Zoho Tables. We have done a lot of marketing in the last few months to get the word out. But if before this webinar promotion, have you really heard about Zoho Tables? So Shruti, if you're around, please run this poll. I see that votes are being casted. Yes. Cool. We still see a few more people who haven't casted their vote. Please go ahead. Awesome. And Shruti, how does the mix look? How many people have is it possible for you to
Arjun,
let us know the result?
it's like 79% have not heard about Zoho Tables.
Okay.
So the rest have heard. Yeah. So
Got
we are
it.
good.
Yeah. So
80% yes. Yeah.
got it. Awesome. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, everyone, for polling your answer. And it is good that most of you have not heard about Zoho Tables, because this will be an amazing intro for you, right? So let's define the problem first. So if you look at work in modern age, in today's digital age, everything is around data, right? Data is at the core of all things work. And if you are a business and if you have a very, very efficient way to manage your data, you already have a very, very efficient way to manage your work. So if we were to define what exactly is the problem that we are trying to solve, this is how we would define it. The core challenges in modern workplace are two things. One is a modern business is generating enormous amounts of data. It could be work data, it could be data about your employees, it could be data about your customers, it could be data about your inventory, it could be data about your sales, deals, analytics, website, a lot of data, right? And all of this data is currently unstructured and it is unorganized. It is sitting in different tools, it is sitting in silos, it is desperately stored across different places so that there is no way you can take out insights. Second thing is, since your data is stored across different places and since you have different aspects of work that you have to manage, you also have a fragmented and manual process. Whatever could be automated is still not automated, and whatever could be streamlined is still not streamlined. So this is what we see even after a lot of these software solutions being adopted. So the problem right now is there are a lot of software solutions and data is sitting across all of these software solutions. So these are two problems that modern workplace is facing. So we will start from the first part of the problem, data management. So our approach to work management has data management at its core, right? Because like I mentioned earlier, data is at the core of work today. And what are the different problems in terms of managing data? The first part is the just the fact that you are storing diverse types of data. You have data that is text, you have data that is a video, you have data that is an image, you have data that are numbers, you have data that are heat maps. So you have these different kinds of data and you don't have a simple single central tool to store all of these diverse data. And once you store them, you also don't have a way to organize them, create relationships, because you need more sophisticated software to do that. And then for all simple things, you are using very sophisticated software. So this is the core problem with data management, and scalability is also a primary challenge. So how do we solve the data management problem? There are two ways businesses solve this data management problem currently. One is the most ubiquitous one. Everybody has this, everybody has used this at some point in their life, or they are using it in the now. That is the spreadsheet, right? And on the other end of the spectrum, against the spreadsheet, we have a database. Now we'll quickly see, these are good tools, these are amazing tools, but there are limitations to using a spreadsheet or a database to do data management in the context of managing your work. If data management as a separate silo, if you want to do it in a database, it is a good thing. But in the context of work, in the context of a project, in the context of multiple tasks that you're managing, these things have limitations, and we will quickly see what are these limitations. So what are the limitations in a spreadsheet? We have used spreadsheet, right? What are some of the limitations in a spreadsheet? The spreadsheet looks like a grid and it mostly has only that view, right? There are charts that you can use, but predominantly it is a grid view. And second thing is, you can create two-way relationships between tables or between different sheets. But the problem is, it is not very intuitive. It is not very slick. You cannot do it in a bunch of clicks. You will have to go a longer way. You will have to take a longer route to achieve the same destination. And since spreadsheets are flexible, they are extremely simple and easy to adapt. But this flexibility is also a threat, because when you have a tool that is very flexible, that lets you enter any kind of data, then how do you ensure data integrity, right? Since you do not have very defined data validation rules that are predefined in your spreadsheet, there is chances for human errors. And automation is possible, but it's not easy. And when you store enormous amounts of data on a spreadsheet, you will notice that your spreadsheet starts to hang down, right? And on the other end, database is an amazing tool, but the problem is the complexity. You, irrespective of your technical expertise, can use a spreadsheet, but you cannot say the same thing for a database. If somebody has to set up a database, define the relationships, define the rules, and then structure their data, they need to have that technical expertise. They need to be a DB administrator. You will have to spend on it, investment, both in terms of hardware, both in terms of software, and in terms of human resources. Databases get complicated. So what exactly are we looking at? We are looking at a tool that combines the simplicity of a spreadsheet with the power of a database. That is where we have to get at, and that is what we intend to do with our tool. Now, if we move on to the other aspect of work processes, how do you actually manage work processes right now, and what are the needs in that area? The first thing is, there are a lot of processes that could be automated. And if you also think about what is a process, a work starts in a particular stage and ends at a particular stage. Between these two stages, there will be several different milestones. Each of these could be called a stage, right? So work basically progresses from one stage to the other, and from the other to the other, and from the other to the other. It is basically the stage data changing from one value to the other. And when this updation happens, a workflow should be triggered automatically, pushing all of these things that has to move in that particular stage, right? So this automation should be possible. And when we talk about data and processes and work, we should not forget people, right? So we also have this tagline that says Zoho Tables seamlessly connects your people, your processes, and your information. And that's exactly what any work management software should effortlessly do. It should bring your team together. It should have the features that intuitively nudges your team to contextually collaborate on the work items that they have. And a work management tool should not mandate how you work. A work management tool should customize itself, should be flexible enough to fit into your existing molds, and it should scale from there. So these are things that a work management software should do. And again, how are people managing work currently? There are three stages here. One is they don't use a software. In reality, we don't have a central tool to manage work. Me as an individual, so I take care of a marketing team. There are different types of work that comes to me, but mostly earlier, initially, it used to come as a chat, and then I assign it to someone else, and then I again follow up as an email or a chat, and then they share content with me in a work drive or write a file. So there are multiple different tools where the context of work is sitting. We did not have a work management tool. So that is one possibility. So you either do not have a central tool, or second thing is you are using a spreadsheet to manage work. Spreadsheet, please don't get me wrong, we have our amazing spreadsheet called Zoho Sheet. Spreadsheet is an amazing tool, but it was not specifically designed to manage your work, right? So you will be able to take it until you are at a certain scale. But when your team grows, when your work becomes complex, when your data becomes more diverse, your spreadsheet won't scale with you. So that's the problem with the spreadsheet. And then you are using sophisticated software. So we did notice, or we did talk about the limitations in the spreadsheet. But when you move to a sophisticated software to manage your work, what happens is most of these sophisticated software come with a steep learning curve, and championing this cause internally in any organization is a difficult task. And second thing is, these sophisticated software come with rigid structures. So they basically push you to change some of your processes to fit into their molds. And third thing is, I think most of you will be able to relate with this aspect. Most of software users, this is what we hear from a lot of people when we have our customer interactions, when they move to Zoho especially. So they are currently using some sophisticated software. They are paying some exorbitant price for that software, but they are using only a fraction of the capabilities of that software. So the cost is high, but the value that you're taking is very low. So to do a simple task, you are using a product that is absolutely an overkill. So again, here we need a tool that can quickly and easily streamline and automate your workflows without bloating it like a sophisticated software, or without limiting you like a spreadsheet or the absence of a spreadsheet. So this is exactly where we are positioning Zoho Tables. If you want to manage your data, and if you want to manage your work, which could be your projects, which could be your task, which could be a certain thing that falls between the cracks of a project management or a CRM or all of your other function specific tools, Zoho Tables will be an amazing fit. So what is Zoho Tables? Zoho Tables is a tool that combines I'm repeating myself, it combines the simplicity of a spreadsheet with the sophistication of a database or a sophisticated software. You can use this to plan and track your work. First thing is you can plan all of your work items, you can assign it to your team members, and then you can track progress of that work item. And then any data associated with these work items, you can store all of that data inside this tool in a central tool. And there are different ways to visualize this data. You can collaborate contextually with your team, and whatever workflows you are managing, it can be streamlined and it can be automated. How exactly does it work? It's very simple. The first step is you feed in your data. And the second step is once the data is in the system, then you can organize that data between different tables. You can create relationships. And the third thing is you can view your data in different ways. Akila will show you exactly how this looks. I will talk briefly about what exactly are these views meant for. And you can collaborate with your team and you can automate your workflows. So if you think about how data is managed in, I see that there is a poll running. Yeah, I think Shruti has started a poll. She wants to know if you have already tried Zoho Tables. I think since most of you have not heard about Zoho Tables, I don't think most of you would have tried Zoho Tables. So if you are using a spreadsheet, right, how will you store a student database? There'll be a student table, and then there will be students and semesters table separately, and then there will be students and courses table separately, and all of these different tables. But the problem is there are a lot of data that are repeating in these tables. So if you are not creating relationships so that you have data integrity and no data duplication, if data is edited in one place, it should be updated in all other places. If you are managing it like this, it won't be possible. You have to create relationships, and that is how Zoho Tables allows you to do it. So Zoho Tables is also, you can call it a relational database where you can create such relationships. And how does it look? When you manage your student database in a spreadsheet, this is how it looks. And when you manage it in Zoho Tables, this is how it looks. And this is just a basic view. I will also show you the other different types of views, right? So if you notice, we saw the grid view, and this one is a Kanban view. So if you want to track a particular work item through the different stages it is progressing through, you have a Kanban view, right? And if you want to put a spotlight on your attachments, you have a gallery view where it puts a spotlight on your attachments and shows your work items like a gallery. And then you have a calendar view. So if you want to look at your work item from the context of a deadline, calendar is an amazing tool. And then you can collect data from multiple people. You can create a form, you can make it a public form, you can just share the link with anybody, and that data is imported from there. And it will be stored in the grid view like you have in a spreadsheet, right? So in addition to this, just a second. I talked about the relationship creation, and you can collaborate. So in each record, you have record level comments and you have collaboration features that will help you enhance your collaboration with your team, and you can automate your mundane tasks. So on top of this, we have our mobile application. So when you create a base in Zoho Tables, it actually powers up as a mobile application on its own. For example, if you're creating a content review base on your web application, you have a content review mobile app on your phone in an instant, right? So if you're creating something else, an invoice tracker, an inventory tracker, an order management tool, a shipping management tool, any base that you create on your website with all its automations, with all its fields will be available on the mobile app. And the best part is you can also create an application or a base from the mobile app very, very quickly. You can be on the move and you can create a base from the scratch to whatever you need to customize, all from the mobile application. So this is all of the highlights, and this is to give you a context of where exactly we are positioning Zoho Tables. Now, Akila will take over. She will show you exactly how to do this, how to feed data, organize data, automate data, visualize your data, and collaborate contextually with your team members in the tool. So Akila, good morning, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Arjun. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our demo of Zoho Tables. I'm Akhila, and I'm excited to guide you through how Zoho Tables can help you streamline, track, and optimize your workflow. So today we'll explore various features of Zoho Tables, from setting up your workspace and feeding data into tables to creating customized views and sharing your data with your team. So let's dive right in and see how Zoho Tables can transform the way you handle your data. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask, and we all will be happy to address them. So let's get started.
Hi, Clam. Sorry, I've transferred the control now, and you can start the screen.
Right. So let's start by getting you signed in or creating an account. Simply go to zoho.com/tables and log in or sign up. Right. If you are a Zoho One user interested in accessing Zoho Tables, you can request free access by sending a simple email to support@zohotables.com. Once you're onboarded, you will be taken to your workspace, and here is where you can organize your data effectively. You'll notice that you can create different bases for managing various areas of your workflow. You have several options to create bases. So you can use our pre-made templates to create bases, or you can import bases from your local device, from a URL, or using cloud services, right? Or you can create base from scratch. You can also import bases from other sources like Zoho CRM, and there are other integrations that are on the way, which is in our roadmap and will be live very soon. So let's, this flexibility mainly ensures that Zoho Tables can cater to your specific needs. So to aid in your comprehension, let's go through an example. Imagine I am the manager of a manufacturing company, and I have set up a portal named Phoenix Enterprises after my company to streamline communication. So first, I would be creating workspaces within my portal for different functions. For example, I have set up workspaces for production, marketing, and finance. Each workspace contains bases tailored to the needs of each department. And in the finance workspace, for instance, I would be creating bases like purchase orders, payments, and invoices. So these bases will include tables specifically designed to manage and track various elements of the finance workflow. So let's look at how this works in practice. So here's the workspace for finance, and within it we have our bases: purchase order, payments, and invoices. So purchase order is to track what we are ordering, and payments is to manage the transactions, and invoices to handle billings. So by organizing your workspaces this way, you can keep your data structured and accessible, making it easier to manage different aspects of your business effectively, right? So we have now covered the basics of setting up your workspace and creating bases for various functions. So I hope this part is clear for you. And if you have any questions or need further clarification, please feel free to ask in the questions section, and our team would be here to answer all your queries. So now let's explore how to feed data into your Zoho tables. So let's dive into the purchase order base to see how it all works. So now this is the purchase order base, and you can see a table here. So this table is essentially a grid of rows and columns used to organize and manage your data. So each row represents a record and each column represents a field. So to add a new table, simply click on the plus icon given over here, and you'll have the option to create a blank table, or you can import an existing table from your local device, a URL, or cloud services. You can also rename or you can duplicate, you can download, or you can even delete tables as needed. So for instance, if you want to create a table for a new project, you can easily do so and customize it according to your needs. So now let's talk about fields. So a field is essentially a column in your table, right, where you input specific types of data. So to add a new field, you just have to click on the plus icon given over here. And to customize a field, you have to click on the drop down menu in the field and click on edit, and you can change the field type. So you can select the appropriate field type, whether it is an attachment, checkbox, formula, text, URL, or any field type from the given list, right? So for example, now I am managing I'm managing this order table over here, and I might want the fields to be order, this field to contain order ID, this field to contain order date. So I would customize the fields according to my requirements. So this is going to be order ID. So I'm creating an auto number. So I have customized this field to fit the data that I need to capture. So similarly, you can do so with other fields as well. So now let's move on to records. So records are individual entries within your table, and each record corresponds to single row and contains data for each field, right? In our orders table over here, you would insert records for each order placed. So for instance, you would here the order ID is entered automatically because we have used auto number field. You can enter the date, the order date, and here maybe you could enter the name of the vendor, right? Here you can enter the person who is assigned for this particular order, right? And so on, like you can fill in data according to your requirements. So to insert a record, you just have to simply enter data. So now let's change this to text, right? You can also set a default option over here. This would help you enter a predefined value into a particular field. So you just have to simply enter data into each field for a new row. So this way you can populate your table with relevant information and make it ready for further use and analysis. So this is how you add and manage tables and fields and records in Zoho Tables. So I hope this part is clear, the part regarding feeding data into your tables. So if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to ask in the question section. Our team would be happy to assist you. Let's move on to more populated data. So this is how I want my purchase order table to look like. So now let's dive into linking fields between tables to streamline your data management. Now, say for example, I want to link orders table with vendors table. So with this connection, I can with this connection, all the relevant information from the vendors table becomes easily accessible. So once I link orders table with the vendors table, any information in vendors table would become much more easily accessible. So I'll demonstrate how to link fields. So first we need to create a new field. So I'd be clicking on the plus icon over here, and I'll choose link from the options. Now I would be choosing the vendors table from the list. Configure the display field. So here I want the vendor name to be displayed. And once you've chosen all the relevant fields, click create. So you will now see that the vendor field is linked to my orders table, and this allows, so let me rename my field. Right. So this linking allows for seamless data retrieval. So see how I can just access information with just a simple click. Right. So I am now able to retrieve data from a different table, and also this allows for updates across your table. So if, for example, I am editing the name of my vendor, so I've edited it here. I don't have to manually go and edit it again over here because it's already done for me, right? So data retrieval becomes easy, and updating records across tables becomes easy as well, right? So next, let's have a look at the lookup feature to pull out relevant information automatically. So for instance, we've linked the vendors in the orders table. Now we can create lookup field to display additional vendor details like contact information directly into the orders table. So now let's set up a lookup field, add a new field, choose lookup from the option, then choose the linked vendors field, select the relevant contact information that you want to display over here, click create, and the contact information is, it automatically appears. So now the orders table would automatically show the additional details like the email ID that we have chosen right now automatically whenever a vendor is selected, right? Now let's move to a much more populated data, base. Now let's have a look at the roll-up field. So roll-up fields are useful for summarizing information from linked records. So for example, you might want to calculate the total number of items ordered by each vendor in the orders table, right? So you want to know how many items have been ordered by each of the vendors. So I'm just moving on to the vendors table. Now I'll show you how to create a roll-up field. So add a field, click on the plus icon, choose a roll-up, and then choose the already linked field over here. So this field is linked to the orders table. Now the field that I want to roll up here would be the field that I want to summarize would be quantity, because I want to know the number of items ordered by each vendor, and I want the total, so I would be choosing the function sum. So once I click on create, with this roll-up field, now you can see the total number of items ordered per vendor, giving you a quick summary of your data, right? And now let's explore how to use formulas for calculations and data manipulation within your tables. So formulas can automate and streamline your process effectively. For example, now let us set up a formula automatically to determine a due date for shipments. So this can save you time and ensure accuracy in your scheduling. So to add a formula field, click on the plus icon and then select formula as the field type, and now enter your formula. So for calculating a due date that's 15 days from the purchase date, you would use the formula date add, and I would be selecting purchase date. Since it's 15 days, I'm writing down 15, and the unit of time would be day. Right, I can choose the date format that I want. If I want time to be displayed over here, I can choose the relevant format. Now I don't want the time, so I'm just choosing none, and then click create. Right. So here, date add is a function that adds a specified amount of time to a given date. So in this example, we are adding 15 days. So from the purchase date to compute the shipment due date, right? So it is important to note that day in this formula, it specifies the unit of time. So you can also replace day with hour or month depending on your needs. So for instance, if you want to calculate a due date that's 3 months from the purchase date, you would use date add purchase date, and instead of 15 you would be putting 3, and instead of day you would be entering month, right? So you just have to enter your desired formula and click save to apply it. And now your orders table will automatically calculate the due date based on the purchase date. So as you can see, the purchase date is September 8th. 15 days after is September 23rd. Right now with this, it's much more easier to manage your deadlines. So in this part, now we have covered linking fields, lookup fields, roll-up fields, and formulas in our sessions today. I'll also show you an additional example of how I've used formulas. So here I have the total items cost and the shipping cost. So I want the total amount that gives me the total including or adding the total item cost and the shipping cost. So I've used the formula sum, wherein the total item cost is added with the shipping cost, and the number has to be displayed in currencies, and the currency could be chosen from this particular field. Once I click on save, the total amount is automatically calculated and displayed over here. Right, so there are much more possibilities with the formula field. So this part, again, I'm repeating, I've covered linking fields, lookup, rollup, and formula field. And in case you have any questions or doubts in this particular section, please feel free to ask in the questions section. Right. So let's have a look at a very powerful feature in Zoho Tables, which is automation. So automations are a powerful way to streamline repetitive tasks and keep your team informed. So for instance, you might want to set up an automation that sends an alert when a purchase order is marked as approved. Right. So if the status changes to approved, you might want to be alerted of this update, right? So let's see how this works with automation. So go to automation, click on this icon over here. Now create an automation by selecting create new. Now set the trigger for this automation as when a record is updated, because we are just updating the status over here. Now the condition to be applied would be when status of an order changes to approved. Right? Once you've set the trigger, you can choose the actions that should follow. For example, you might want to send an email to the assigned person to notify them of the approved order. Right? So actions define what happens when a trigger occurs. So actions includes sending emails, creating a new record, or updating a record. Right? So let's configure an email alert as our action. So I'll show you how to set up an email alert. So in the actions section, we'll be choosing send email, right? Set the recipient as the assignee. So I want to notify the assignees of the update in the status. So I'm selecting the assignee field over here. So whoever is the assignee would be notified of this update, right? Now you can compose the message to include details about the approved order and set the subject and complete with the complete customized message. So in the subject I would be entering with the shipment order. I can even choose fields from the table. Right. Now, once you've configured the email alert, click activate to complete the setup. Right. So now every time an order is marked approved, the assignee will automatically receive a notification. So the assignee here is Olivia Stevens. Now let's have a look at Olivia Stevens' mail. So as you can see, Olivia Stevens has been notified of the status update. Right? So this concludes our part of setting up an automation. So we have covered how to create triggers, how to configure actions, and set up email alerts. If you have any questions on this part, please feel free to ask in the question section. And I hope this is clear until now. Now, let's have a look at the different views that we have in Zoho Tables. So the view that we are looking at currently is the grid view. So a grid view is fantastic for detailed data analysis. So here is the orders table. So to create a new view, you just have to click on the plus icon over here. So you can add a view here. You can select the view that you want to create. So let's create a grid view. Yes. So now we can apply filters if needed. Say, for instance, we might want to see only the pending orders. So let's apply that filter. You can also rename this view. Now we'll name it as pending orders. So now we have a specific grid view that shows only the pending orders, right? And there we have it, a customized grid view that shows us all the pending orders with the details that we need, right? So next, let's create a Kanban view to track the status of our orders. So Kanban views are great for visualizing workflow stages. I've already set up a Kanban view for this purpose. So now you can see the columns are labeled according to the order statuses, which is pending, approved, shipped, delivered. So these are the records that these are the orders that are pending. These are the orders that have been approved. These are the orders that have been shipped, and these are the orders that have been delivered. Right? You can also drag and drop orders between columns as their status changes. So this view provides a clear visual of where an order stands, right? Now let's move on to the calendar view. This is perfect for tracking important dates like order dates, delivery schedules, right? You can choose to view this data in a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly view. So let's have a look at the monthly view. So here's the calendar view with our orders at, and the respective dates. And you can see all the upcoming deliveries and deadlines in one place as well. Right. Now let's have a look at gallery view. So this view is ideal for a visual display of record where each record is represented as a card. So here's how our gallery view looks with each order represented as a card, making it easy to browse through these items visually, right? And let's also create a form view, which is great for data entry and capturing new records. A form view simplifies the process of inputting data. So here is an example of form view for adding new orders. You can share it in your website or share it with your clients, and they can fill out the fields like items, quantity, shipping address, and then submit to add new records to our orders table. So once they enter the information over here and click on submit, what happens is that particular information is entered as a new record in our orders table, right? Let's talk about a very interesting feature in tables, which is sharing views. So you might want to add, you might want to share specific views to your team members while keeping other data and tables private, right? So to share a view, you just have to go and click on the share button over here and click on share current view, right? And then you can enter the email address of the team member that you want to share it with, specify their access level, whether they can view the data, comment, or become a data maintainer, and then click on the share button. So let's say I want to share the Kanban view, this particular view, with our sales team. So we'll be selecting, we'll be entering the email addresses. We'll be selecting their access type as viewer, and they'll be having view only access to this particular view so that they can see the order statuses but not modify them, right? And then I'd be clicking on the share button. And once I do that, only this particular view would be shared with the people that I've selected, right? I won't be sharing any other table or any other view or any other data with them. So there you have it, how to create and share customized views in Zoho Tables to make data management more efficient and collaborative. So in this part, we have walked through grid, Kanban, calendar, form, and gallery view, as well as how to share them with your team. So if you have any questions or if you need any further clarification in this part, feel free to ask. Again, my team would be happy to assist you. So as you've seen, Zoho Tables offers a powerful suite of features designed to optimize workflow across any domain. With its capabilities, for efficient data organization, automation, customizable views, and real-time collaboration, Zoho Tables can significantly enhance your operational efficiency. So today's demo that I've given you provided an overview of some of the core features, but the platform has a wealth of additional possibilities tailored to various use cases and specific needs. And there are likely more features that we didn't cover today that would be very beneficial for your workflow. So we encourage you to explore Zoho Tables further to experience its full range of functionalities and see how it best suits your requirements. So thank you for joining the demo today. If you would like to delve deeper into what Zoho Tables can do for you, or if you have any specific questions, don't hesitate to contact us directly. So I'll now hand things back to Arjun for further discussion.
Thank you, Akla. That was an amazing presentation. I'm sure people were able to get a very good overview of Zoho Tables. So, Tim, I'll again go back to my slide. Just a second.
Hi Arjun, can we quickly run a poll while you're going back to your slide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, audience, you will see a poll on your screen. So if you would like a one-on-one session with us, we would understand how your current process looks like, how Zoho Tables can be customized to your unique needs. And you can also try out the tool. Our standard trial is for, our professional trial is for 15 days. But if you get on a call with us one-on-one, and if we are able to understand how you use the product and all of that, you can use the tool for more than 15 days. You can probably take a month or two of free trial to see if Zoho Tables will be a good fit, and any feedback from you will really help us improve the platform. So please let us know if you're interested in a one-on-one session with us, and we'll be happy to come on board and get insights from you and also help you set up Zoho Tables for you. We've also posted a couple of links in the chat. So you can directly go to the Zoho Tables website and sign in and start trying the software. Or you can also drop us an email at hello@zohotables, which won't be essential if you have already submitted the poll. Got it. So we will quickly close this session, everyone. So like Akila mentioned, Akila showed you a use case which is for the manufacturing business, where we are managing orders and shipping and all of that. But you could be a marketer, you could be a salesperson, you could be an inventory manager, you could be a procurement person. Irrespective of what function you are part of, what industry you are part of, you still can use Zoho Tables. It is a very horizontal tool. It is industry agnostic and it is function agnostic. On top of the templates that you have in our website, you can obviously use them, customize them, and start using the product. You can quickly build a solution. So this is how you could think about Zoho Tables. The first step is you have to bring some structure to your process. Once there is structure, it is very easy to replicate that structure in Zoho Tables and start streamlining your workflows. Right. So these are some of nice things that our customers had to say about Zoho Tables. So if social proof adds value, please take a look at what they had to say. And this is our pricing. It is in USD because we cover the entire APAC region. So each region has a different price. But you get all of this at $4 per user per month if you are in the US. But if you want to know the pricing, you can use the link that Nicholas shared in the chat. You can go to the pricing page. based on your region, the pricing will be customized and shown. It is extremely affordable, and the simplicity of the tool is actually misleading or deceiving. The power of it is it can scale to meet your needs. We have customers who have around 300, 400 people working on projects or tasks, which are being managed with Zoho Tables. So it is a very simple tool, yet powerful tool.